Hello, our topic is activity entry in the Veboni ERP program. You can enter your activity entries from the Operations tab, Activity Entry tab in the menu. On the page that opens, you can see the fixed filters in the top bar, the tickets you will create in the middle bar, and the guest information of the ticket in the bottom bar. You can use the hotel option at the top bar, filter active, deleted, canceled tickets, filter ticket recipes or booking recipes of your tickets, or use the booking type activity type options. Let's make a listing. I click on the plus button at the top right to register a new ticket. You can create activity reservations for your other hotels in the hotel selection field in the form that opens. I continue by selecting the appropriate one from the activity type options. I continue by choosing Chinese a la carte from your activities connected to the a la carte. From the date field, I can see the dates listed from near to far and the sessions linked to these dates and their capacities during these sessions. I continue by selecting the appropriate session. From the booking type options, individual external attendance shows hotel guests, if it is a hotel. First, let's create a reservation for the hotel. I continue by selecting the hotel option. I continue by selecting the hotel where the guest is staying from the hotel selection field. This means the following. I want my activity in Hotel A and my guest in Hotel B. My guest in Hotel B can participate in the a la carte activity in Hotel A. I continue by choosing the same hotel. I continue by selecting the appropriate option from the minimum arrival options. You can find your guest by entering the room number or guest information from the reservation section. I continue by selecting my trial booking. If the time icon appears on the right after selecting the reservation, it means that your guest has already booked an activity. You can select your guests individually or collectively from the customer section. Based on their age, the system automatically distinguishes between adult, paid child, and unpaid child. I continue by selecting the appropriate ticket sales channel option. In the Sales User field, you can continue by selecting the appropriate one to bring all users in your data. The reservation status opens as tentative, and if it is a finalized reservation, you can continue by selecting Definite. You can write a description of your ticket in the description section. At the bottom, you can see the price of your ticket. You can see the currency, exchange rate, price, discount, net price, and local amount of your ticket. You can use this field to make a percentage discount and this field to make a net price discount. You can see that there is an €80 discount. You can see the guest information at the bottom. From the icons on the right side, click on the paper icon to access the guest's billing addresses or delete the guest. You can add a new contact with the plus button on the flat side. You must fill in the email box here. The date of birth field here is mandatory. Before clicking on the Add button, if you want to add a feature for your guests, you can add a feature for your guests by clicking on the plus button from the tabs at the top, under the Guest Features tab. With the Insert button, I now have the ticket in the table at the bottom. If your guest requests an activity for another day, you can add it without closing the form. I save my activity with the Save button. Once the ticket is saved, it automatically drops into the list. Now let's create a sample reservation for your external guests. I open my form with the plus button in the upper right corner of the page. I continue by selecting my hotel from the Hotel Selection field. I continue by selecting à la carte from the activity type options and Chinese à la carte from the activities. From the date, I can see that the reservation I just saved has reduced the capacity here. I continue by choosing the same session of the same day. Since it is an external participation, my reservation type is individual permanent. If my reservation is definite, I change the reservation status to definite. I continue by selecting the appropriate ticket sales channel option. I continue by choosing the sales century. I have to enter the number of adult children manually here. In the description, for example, a table with sea view is requested. I do not offer any discount. Here I can see the pricing of my ticket. You can see the currency, the exchange rate, the price, the amount of any discount, the net price, and the local amount. With the plus button here, we can start typing the names of our guests. When you click on the plus button, a line phone number field at the bottom is not mandatory. You can fill it in if you wish. I fill in the date of birth field because it is mandatory. When I click on the plus button, another field will open and I can write the name of the second person. It opens by clicking again. It brings my ticket to the bottom table. If my guest has a request for extra options, I can add by extra tab. If my guest has another activity request for another day, I can add it here again before the form is closed. I save my ticket with the Save button at the bottom. Asking whether to create a payment link. It will also create the booking when you press Cancel on the question of whether to create a payment link. Press Yes and it will redirect you to the payment page. When you click E-Collection in the Payment tab, a virtual POS payment link will be sent to your guest automatically. Here you can select the language your guest speaks and send the payment link in that language. If you want your guest to pay in parts, you can intervene in the amount section here. If your guest does not want to pay via the payment link, you can choose bank transfer or cash options from the payment types section. In each caliphate, you need to select one of the payment types here and click on the E-Collection button here. If your guest wants to pay in dollars instead of euros due to the party feature, we can send an email to our guest with a dollar payment link by selecting the dollar option from the currency type options in the activity summary section. When we click on the E-Collection link as $217.63 equivalent to 200 euros, a payment link in dollars will be sent to our guest. You can see the tickets for which you have sent a payment link from the activity login screen with the checkbox in the payment link column filled. The system will automatically click here. If the guest has paid with the payment link, the checkbox in the Paid field will also be filled in automatically by the system. When we right-click on the lists on the activity login screen, we can create a new reservation, update an existing reservation, monitor an existing reservation without registering it, or delete or cancel an existing reservation. You can also create a QR code with the relevant reservation and review its logs. From the Send Mail screen, you can send a cancellation mail, send a payment link, or send a confirmation mail. A QR code will also be sent in the confirmation email.